guy. I worked for a guy in 1998. I was a district manager for the Hard Rock Cafe at that time. And I was running 7 restaurants, and they brought a new guy in to be the vice president of operations. I was the director of operations. The guy they brought in he was an introvert, college dropout, chef, cook background, worked his way up as a cook. Not a very pleasant disposition.
Perfect role model.
And exceptionally difficult. His name was Fred Holtz. And when I met Fred, I immediately disliked him intensely. And he was an interesting character. I was newly married at the time, and Fred worked 7 days a week, and he worked from 7 o'clock in the morning typically until 11 p.m. every day, Monday through Sunday. And if you happened to work with him, it was always the dreaded at 11 p.m. you would go out for a nightcap. And the nightcap could take you until 1 or 2 in the morning, and then you'd have to be back working with him at 7 a.m. again. And he very infamously only took 1 day off a month, which happened to be the 15th of the month. If it fell on a Monday or a Sunday or a Saturday, it didn't matter. That was his 1 day off. And he would call you any time of day to discuss anything. I was running 7 cafes that had average unit volumes annualized of maybe 10 to 23 million. So some fairly big Hard Rock Cafe restaurants. And I would do a profit and loss review with him every month. Each business review would take 1 hour. So the business review of the 7 businesses would take 7 consecutive hours with no break.
Was he married?
He was married, but it was interesting because he was married with 2 kids, yet he never saw his wife. Never. And when he would take a vacation, we always wondered. He would take 2 vacations a year, and he would always go to Amsterdam alone.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure what that means, but that's how it played out. And but anyway, in terms of like leadership, the guy knew every detail of every recipe. He knew every in time and every out time of every employee. He knew the productivity level, how it could be improved. He had metrics for keeping restaurants immaculately clean. He mastered every little detail of running a business. And he believed that being successful in an operational business, like a restaurant or like many of the things that you might run, being successful was doing 1,000 little things supremely well every single day, and building systems and structure to ensure those things happened. And it was not pretty, it was granular, it was not charismatic, it was not inspirational, it was painstaking. And when you spend 16 hours a day, 7 days a week in a restaurant, no metaphorical stone is unturned. You look at everything. But over time, I had 7 general managers. In the restaurant business, you are often bonus quarterly. So you have a sales target, a profit target, and every 13 weeks, you can make a bonus. At the Hard Rock Cafe, where I worked at the time, you could bonus, if you hit the key metrics, you could bonus at 100% of your salary. Wow. Every quarter. So over time, working with this guy, my general managers bought cars, bought homes, put their kids through school, upgraded their wedding rings, you name it, and my guest counts went up, and I probably had a couple of the most successful years in my career at this time, and very happy customer base and very, very loyal general managers because they were winning. And so when I think about leadership, what I learned about leadership from Fred was that leaders are not always handsome, beautiful, well-educated, charismatic visionaries. A leader can be granular, introverted, not very handsome, doggedly microscopic in their level of analysis, not thinking big picture at all. In fact, looking at all the small pictures and how they add up. And that's also a style of leadership that I think is very successful. So my long answer to the short question is that Fred Holtz, as an example for you, is someone for me who was a sort of mentor. But what I learned from a story like that and living through someone like that was that leadership comes in all sizes, shapes, colors, genders, and anyone can be a leader in their own way.